Welcome, adventurers, to the world of Taldore. Whether you are a longtime local or just passing through, we have everything you need to know about the Legend of Vox Machina. For anyone unfamiliar, this journey follows our 7 main heroes as they fight the greatest evils in the land, and occasionally line their pockets along the way. For those of you who have watched this crew on YouTube before it was a show, hello fellow critters, and to those gearing up for a whole new addiction, we've been waiting for you. With Season 4 on the horizon, we wanted to remind everyone what has happened so far. And trust us, there is a lot to cover. To keep things easy, we are focusing on the major plot points and scenes we just can't get over. Want to catch up before the new season airs? You are in the right place. Now, this goes without saying, if you haven't seen the show, go watch it. We are diving into heavy spoilers for the whole series, and we don't want to ruin it for you. Don't say we didn't warn you. With so many episodes to cover and so many little nuggets we do not want to skip, we want to give you the whole picture so you can watch the new season with full confidence. So, without further ado, here's everything you need to know about Vox Machina Seasons 1 through 3. Vox Machina is introduced as a chaotic, brawling band of mercenaries drowning in bar tabs. The team includes Vax'ildan, a half-elf rogue, Vex'alia, a half-elf ranger, Keyleth, a half-elf druid, Grog Strongjaw, a Goliath barbarian, Percival Derolo, a human gunslinger, Scanlan Shorthalt, a gnome bard, and last but not least, Pike Trickfoot, a gnome cleric. The story kicks off when they take a desperate contract from the Sovereign of Amon to slay an unknown beast. These first episodes really reveal that the beast is actually the Blue Dragon Brimside, disguised as General Krieg, a member of the Sovereign's Council. The team then tracks Brimside to his lair. This episode gives us the first major moment of character growth for Keyleth, who struggles with self-doubt but ultimately uses her magic to save the team during the dragon fight. Grog also gets to showcase his brutal strength by landing the killing blow. Classic barbarian. Early on, we learn that the group relies heavily on one another despite their dysfunction. Their victory secures Vox Machina's position as protectors of the realm, shifting them from lowly mercenaries into actual heroes with real responsibilities. The overarching plot of Season 1 truly begins with the arrival of Lord Silas and Lady Delilah Briarwood. Percy's dark and traumatic backstory takes center stage when he recognizes the Briarwoods as the murderers of his family. We are also introduced to the manifestation of Percy's dark smoke entity, Orthax, although this name isn't quite known to Percy yet, showing his internal battle with vengeance. This will become very important later, so stay tuned. Vax infiltrates the Briarwood's room and discovers a book that mentions the Whispered One. We'll also come back to that as well. Following the feast, the Briarwoods attempt to assassinate Vox Machina right outside the party. We see Silas's vampiric nature and Delilah's necromancy in full force. The battle forces Vox Machina to realize how outmatched they truly are. With the episode ending with the Briarwoods fleeing back to Whitestone, and Vox Machina resolves to follow them up to help Percy reclaim his home. The journey to Whitestone is filled with tension, with the season as a whole focusing heavily on Percy's declining mental state, as well as his obsession with his pepperbox pistol becoming more and more apparent. We see the names engraved on the barrels reveal that Percy is not just seeking justice, he's hunting down everyone responsible for destroying his family. When the team arrives in Whitestone, they find a dreary, oppressed city under the control of the Briarwoods. This fully sets the stage for Vox Machina's biggest battle yet. Vox Machina begins to understand just how broken Whitestone has really become. That people are afraid, the city's controlled by the Briarwood loyalists, and Percy is forced to confront the ruins of the life he once knew. The group makes contact with the local resistance, and Percy's return becomes a spark of hope for the people of Whitestone. But hope alone is not enough. The team realizes that liberating the city will require strategy, sacrifice, and a willingness to face the horrors waiting for them inside Castle Whitestone. While the rest of the team plans a distraction, Scanlan is sent on a solo mission to burn down Duke Vedmire's house. Vedmire is one of the Briarwood's chief enforcers, and taking him out would help clear the way for the rebellion. These episodes are a crucial moment for Scanlan's character development. He fully transitions from a pure comedic relief into a highly capable and clever bard who can absolutely hold his own. You go, Scanlan. Using potions, illusions, fire magic, and his usual chaotic flair, Scanlan single-handedly takes on a house full of guards. His distraction draws attention away from the rest of the team and allows them to move against Professor Anders. Percy confronts Anders, but not before Anders slits his sister Cassandra's throat right in front of him. Meanwhile, Pike's journey towards spiritual renewal takes her into the spirit realm, where she confronts the darkness inside her. It is a perilous internal battle, and one she must face alone. Back in Whitestone, the rebellion makes its move. Cassandra is revived by Keyleth while the rest of the group fights to take down Anders. Meanwhile, Percy's dark shadow continues to consume him, and his friends begin to actively question his morality. With another bullet, Percy kills Anders, removing another name from the chamber and taking one step closer to a dark demise. In the interest of origin stories, we take a look back into where this all started for the Briarwoods. We learn what lengths Delilah went to save her husband's life when they were both still mortals. It is here that she finds the book that would later heal Silas, grant them both terrible power, and begin their descent into dark magic. The Whispered One has corrupted them and set them on a path of destruction, both of themselves and the city of Whitestone. We then return to the battle in Whitestone, where the team is cornered. Pike, who had stayed behind at a temple to rediscover her faith, makes a triumphant return through a glowing astral projection. Her divine magic turns the tide of the battle. It was an awesome moment in the original campaign, and the animated series kind of really felt like it brought this story to life as the team is finally reunited. But this also raises the stakes, because the Briarwoods have something truly nefarious in motion. The team takes to the underground caverns below the castle, and while navigating the dungeons, the team encounters Anna Ripley, who betrayed Percy's family years and years ago. And yes, again, we will be seeing a lot more of her. Percy confronts Ripley, and she reveals more about what happened to his family. This is also where we first hear about the ziggurat, an ancient structure beneath Castle Whitestone that is being used for an unknown ritual. Any guesses? While exploring, the group stumbles into an underground acid chamber. They are then betrayed by Cassandra, who reveals that she's been charmed and manipulated by the Briarwoods. Her pain is rooted in the belief that Percy abandoned her as a child when he ran away. Vax, of course, is also trapped and charmed by Silas, dividing the party just as the acid pit begins filling the room. The group is forced to have Grog swim through the acid while Pike frantically keeps healing him. And by the way, hearing Ashley Johnson yell, "Heal, heal, heal," at Travis's character is still one of the funniest moments we remember from the original campaign so long ago. Ultimately, the team escapes the acid chamber, setting them on a path to save Vax and Cassandra and end the Briarwoods once and for all. In the climax of the Briarwood battle, the ritual begins. Ripley escapes, and the darkness inside Percy continues to grow stronger. Vox Machina confronts the Briarwoods beneath the castle, and a fierce battle erupts. Grog grapples Silas and forces him towards Keyleth's light, flooding the ziggurat with sunlight and burning him away. Heartbroken, Delilah completes a desperate ritual to the Whispered One before she is fatally wounded by Percy's deadeye shot to the back. The ritual does not fully succeed, but Delilah is left badly injured. Meanwhile, Keyleth is nearly dead, and Pike's projection time is running out. The season ends with several major revelations. Percy is struggling to hold back his curse, and we finally see how Percy's deal with Orthax came to be. Ultimately, the demon gave Percy the means to enact revenge on the Briarwoods, but that revenge has been consuming him from the inside. Percy must overcome his trauma and choose forgiveness over vengeance. With help from his friends, he rejects Orthax by shooting his own hand and casting off the demon. He battles the demon inside him, ultimately winning, but with heavy repercussions. Delilah, barely alive, threatens the eventual return of the Whispered One before being skewered by Cassandra. It truly is a fitting end for Cassandra's captors and manipulators. The Pepper Box is destroyed by Scanlan, and Orthax appears to be truly vanquished, or so we think. The team then travels through the Great Tree in the center of Whitestone, using it as a portal back home. They return as heroes and are praised by the Sovereign, who reveals that he was deceived by the Briarwoods. He then gives up his power to the Council of Tal'Dorei. But all is not well, of course. Moments later, 4 ancient dragons, known as the Chroma Conclave, suddenly attack the city, instantly raising the stakes for Season 2. Alright, everyone still here? Awesome. Okay, on to Season 2. Season 2 brings all new threats and even bigger stakes. This time, it's dragons. Why is it always dragons? Anyways, the Chroma Conclave, led by the massive red dragon Thordak, decimates Amon. The Sovereign is killed and Vox Machina is forced into a helpless retreat. During the chaos, Vax sees a mysterious black-haired figure, who will become very relevant later. This episode strips the team of their previous victories. It ultimately humbles them and establishes the dragons as nearly insurmountable threats, with every member of Vox Machina taking heavy physical and emotional damage. The party then travels to the holy city of Vasselheim for aid. They visit the Platinum Sanctuary, and they present their case to the Highbearers, hoping to gain support against the dragons. While the city's leaders refuse to help, the party does gain crucial information about how to defeat the dragons. Vax and the gang try to sneak into the Slayer's take, and then are sent into the pit beneath the building, where they meet Osisa, a sphinx. They ask for her aid, but she forces them to face what the fight against the dragons will ultimately cost. Osisa tells them that only the vestiges can help them defeat the Chroma Conclave. The team then seeks the Deathwalker's ward in a submerged tomb. During the exploration, Vex and Percy accidentally trigger a lethal trap, and Vex is killed instantly. Vax is shattered by the loss of his sister, realizing that all his protectiveness was still not enough. The suddenness of her death forces the entire party, along with the members of the Slayer's Take, to work together to bring Vex back. Desperate to save Vex, Vax offers his own life to the Matron of Ravens in exchange for his sister's. The Matron accepts, reviving Vex and binding Vax as her champion. Vax emerges with the Deathwalker's ward, permanently changed by his new cosmic burden. Halfway through the season, the focus really shifts heavily onto Keyleth and her ongoing personal quest for Aramente. With the Chroma Conclave wreaking havoc, Vox Machina learns that Thordak broke into Exandria from the Fireplane through a rift near the mountain home of the Pyra Ashari, the tribe of fire druids. Keyleth realizes that to stop further elemental destruction, she must travel there and seal the tear between the planes. When the party arrives, they find the once thriving mountaintop village reduced to a volcanic wasteland. Ash falls like snow, the earth is cracked with lava, and the surviving Ashari are hopelessly outnumbered by hostile fire elementals pouring through the open rift. We see that Keyleth is haunted by memories of her mother Vilya. As she witnesses Serkonos, the leader of the fire Ashari, fail to close the rift, Keyleth's self-doubt nearly paralyzes her. She is terrified of the fire, terrified of failing, and terrified of dying the way she believes her mother did. As the rest of Vox Machina fights off waves of fire elementals and salamanders to buy her time, Keyleth must literally pass through fire. She accepts that she is not her mother, but that her compassion and determination are strengths in their own right. She steps into the inferno, endures immense physical pain, and successfully weaves the elemental magic back together, fully sealing the rift. Knowing they need the vestige known as Mythcarver, the crew then seeks out Osisa's mate, Kamajiori. But to gain his approval, they must face a one-on-one challenge with the Sphinx. One by one, the members of Vox Machina fall to his power. The exception, though, is Scanlan, whose heartfelt song touches Kamajiori by speaking to the pain of missing his mate. The group wins the Sphinx's approval and is gifted Mythcarver, the second vestige. That makes 2 down. But the reunion is short-lived. Umbrasyl crashes the party, kills the Sphinx, and flies off with a Mythcarver. Grog's addiction to the bloodlust of Cravenedge, the sword he stole from Silas back at their battle on Whitestone, reaches a critical point. Grog, empowered and corrupted by his cursed sword, accidentally stabs Pike. This shock pulls him out of Cravenedge's influence. In their escape, the party is split up, thus beginning the next phase of this group's growth. Half the team is sent deep into the unpredictable, vibrant, and highly lethal wilderness of the Fey Realm. Here we get our first real look at a plane where beauty and death are dangerously intertwined. In the Fey Wilderness, Vex, Vax, Percy, and Keyleth hire a seemingly harmless, though incredibly annoying satyr named Garmally, who's something of an artist, to guide them through the Shademurk. The journey is a psychedelic nightmare. The plants and creatures are actively hostile, with carnivorous flora, gravity-defying terrain, and mind-bending illusions at every turn. Meanwhile, Grog's addiction to the bloodlust of Cravenedge reaches a critical point. The sword's whispers have completely warped his reality, convincing him that his friends are holding him back, and that he needs to feed the blade to become truly strong. Grog eventually realizes the weapon's malicious intent and destroys it, but the cost is enormous. He loses the strength he gained from the blade, and he's left physically weakened. Meanwhile, Umbrasyl is aided by Ripley in their aligned quest to find all the vestiges. That's right, she's back, of course. The Fey Realm crew, meanwhile, also stumbles upon Syngorn, the original home of Vex and Vax. Did somebody say homecoming? Captured by the elves of Syngorn, Vex and Vax are forced into an unideal reunion with their father Sildor. And it's not exactly a warm welcome either. The group asks Sildor for help against the dragons. Despite his biting disdain for the twins, he eventually offers aid. Percy and Vex also grow closer after Percy defends her in front of her father. Their relationship takes a meaningful step forward, showing just how much Percy sees and values her. Did somebody say budding love interest? On their way out of the Fey Realm, the group faces a dark creature in the forest that twists Vex's mind, forcing her to relive painful memories of her father and her past. The creature presents the bow Fenthras, the third vestige. Vex fights back and ultimately earns the bow, claiming the third vestige for Vox Machina. With that, Garmley grants the group passage home. Of course, it turns out he may be far more than just an annoying satyr. Elsewhere, Grog realizes that if he wants to regain his strength, the group must travel to Westruun for the next vestige, the Titan Stone Knuckles. Grog knows where they are, but they are in the hands of his uncle Kevdak, the very Goliath who nearly killed him so many years ago. Grog's brutal confrontation with Kevdak takes center stage once again. We learn more about Grog's past, the cruelty from his uncle forced him to endure, and the violent things he was made to do as part of the Herd of Storms. We also see how Grog met Pike and her Pop-Pop, which became the beginning of his real family. To make matters worse, Umbrasyl, Ripley, and Mythcarver have all arrived in Grog's former home. Desperate for another vestige, Vox Machina infiltrates the ruined and occupied city of Westruun. Grog, despite being dangerously weakened from his ordeal with Cravenedge, insists on facing Kevdak alone in a sacred one-on-one Goliath blood challenge for leadership of the herd. Grog's duel with Kevdak takes place in the town square. Empowered by the Titan Stone Knuckles, Kevdak is a mountain of muscle and cruelty. Kevdak relentlessly taunts his nephew, mocking Grog's compassion and claiming that relying on his friends makes him weak. As Kevdak prepares to deliver the killing blow, Grog has a major revelation. His friends are not his weakness, they are his strength. Defying Goliath tradition, Grog screams out for Vox Machina. His friends, who were secretly watching from the perimeter, immediately launch into a coordinated assault, throwing the sacred combat into absolute chaos. Channeling his rage, Grog uses a borrowed axe to cleave his uncle Kevdak clean in half. With this, Grog claims the Titanstone Knuckles, his full physical might return, and another vestige for the team. Declared the new herd leader, he immediately passes the title to Kevdak's son, Zanror, forcing a crucial alliance to hunt down Umbrasyl. Meanwhile, Scanlan meets the byproduct of one of his one-night stands. Awkward! Scanlan is forced to confront his daughter Kaylee and the consequences of the life he's been living so far. At the same time, Vax encounters the Matron of Ravens and begins to understand the true cost of saving his sister Vax. He is fate-touched, and the Matron gives him insight into his new powers, and his connection to those who came before him. Vax now has a new path to follow, whether he is ready for it or not. The team then turns its focus to Umbrasyl. They drastically underestimate the dragon's willpower and tolerance for pain. Even after being pinned from the inside, Umbrasyl forces his body upward, tearing through his own internal organs until he rips himself free and flies off. In the spectacular cinematic finale of Season 2, Vox Machina tracks the badly wounded Umbrasyl to his lair deep within Gatshadow Mountain. While the outside party fights a desperate battle against the massive beast, Vax and Scanlan are on the verge of death inside the dragon's stomach. Working together, they cut their way out through Umbrasyl's side and violently tumble, covered in acid and barely clinging to life. After they escape, the Matron of Ravens grants Vex wings. Hot! The climax centers on a major moment of redemption for Scanlan. Spotting the stolen vestige Mythcarver, glowing within Umbrasyl's massive gold hoard, Scanlan takes action. While his friends are pinned down and the dragon prepares a lethal breath attack, Scanlan summons his magical construct, Bigby's Hand. He uses it to grab Mythcarver, launches himself through the air, and plunges the singing sword directly into Umbrasyl's eye, killing the beast. One dragon down, 3 more to go. The season ends with a massive shock back in Whitestone. Trusted ally Keeper Yenin suddenly shapeshifts, revealing herself to be Raishan, the green dragon of the Chroma Conclave. She tells Vox Machina that Thordak has gone mad with power, is creating an army of his own, and betrayed her by not giving her the poison cure he promised her. She then proposes an uneasy and deeply suspicious alliance, perfectly setting the stage for Season 3. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Season 3, the precursor to everything coming up in Season 4. Buckle up, because this season gets heated in more ways than one. Immediately, Raishan drops her disguise in Whitestone, revealing that she's dying from a curse. She offers Vox Machina an alliance to kill Thordak, but the team is deeply divided. Keyleth is furious because Raishan slaughtered her people. Percy, however, argues for the pragmatic choice, believing they may need Raishan to help defeat Thordak. This sows seeds of distrust and tests Keyleth's morality, as she struggles between her desire for vengeance and the greater good, something we're sure Percy is more than familiar with. The group also learns about the Plate of the Dawn Martyr, a vestige that can repel hellfire. It is located in Ank'Harel, but others are already looking for it, so there's no time to waste. Vax and Keyleth attempt to rekindle their bond, and they finally share a kiss. Woohoo! But maybe next time without the terrifying visions? No? Yes? Okay, we'll see about it. The team then sets off on a stealth mission back to their very own keep to confront the Conclave. They quickly realize they are not ready and discover the true size of Thordak's army. Eventually, they are saved by Raishan though. The team then heads to Ank'Harel for more answers and vestiges. They'll need them all if they're to win this battle. Meanwhile, in the city, Percy tracks down and confronts Ripley, who has now partnered with his old demonic curse. Percy and Vex's romantic tension also continues to build as they finally act on all that sexual tension we've been seeing, but not without its compromises. While Vex would like to continue the fun, she believes that the two should not be together due to the danger and destruction that always seem to follow her around. We love a good will they, won't they? The team then heads to Draconia and must literally descend into the 9 hells. The team then encounters the White Dragon Vorigol, but manages to escape. With that, they then end up in Hell, which is not exactly a top 10 vacation location, but it's necessary for the plot. Pike takes center stage in a tense gambling game against the devil. Pike, the cleric, must compromise her strict morals, proving that she is more than willing to play dirty to protect her friends, and ultimately win her the next vestige. Meanwhile, Vex and Percy have stayed behind to fight Vorigol to knock one more dragon off that long list. It's not until the rest of the gang makes it back from the 9 hells that the final snow showdown finally comes to a peak. Aided by one of the demons from Hell, a fierce battle of the Titans is showcased in front of the whole team. At the final moments, it's Keyleth and Vex with their combined powers that uproot, see what we did there, the dragon and kill him from the inside. With 3 dragons down, the team scrambles to gather allies from Whitestone, Singorn, and Ank'Harel for an all-out siege on Amon to face Thordak. But not before running into Ripley, her creations, and Orthax. What a lovely reunion. The fight is intensely personal and ends tragically. In the crossfire, Percy is shot and killed by Ripley. The loss of Percy leaves Vox Machina utterly broken on the eve of the most important battle of their lives. When looking back at Percy's history and how the team met, we get a fun little Easter egg and get to see an animated version of Taliesin Jaffe with his iconic colored hair. We see you back there. Come on, stop hiding. Get out here. Anyways, back in the present, the group commences Percy's funeral. With him gone, the team, along with their massive allies, storms their home to take back Amon and kill Thordak once and for all. Things, of course, don't go according to plan as Thordak unleashes hell upon the army. But not all is in vain, as we get to see all the allies hold their ground and work together to push back the fiery dragon that has taken so much from so many. In a last-ditch effort, Pike, in all her glory, stands in front of Thordak's beam and blocks it, shielding the team and truly showing her might as a holy warrior. Using her vestige to redirect the beam and destroy the crystal at Thordak's chest, she blasts clean through, which is so sick. 1 dragon to go. Immediately after Thordak falls, Raishan betrays the party, surprise surprise, stealing the secret she needed and escaping. Keyleth, furious that they let her get away, lashes out. The team must push through their exhaustion and pursue the green dragon to her secret lair. The group splits to recoup and not only take care of some loose ends, but also prepare for their final fight. On a distant ship much later, Vex and Vax catch up to Ripley, and in a final confrontation they take her down along with the curse. Like a cockroach, this woman just won't die. Wait, never mind. There she goes. Okay, finally. Later, on the shore, the twins come to figure out that while Percy's body has died, his soul is alive and well within the weapon Ripley carried around. This means they can bring him back. Somehow. Much later, the final confrontation with Raishan takes place in her plague, disgusting-filled lair. This is the deadliest fight Vox Machina has ever faced, as Raishan's magic and poison decimate the party. Keyleth is pushed to her physical and magical limits as she tries to counter the dragon's spells. The team realizes that brute force strength will not be enough. Ultimately, they have to rely on Keyleth's connection to nature, which has considerably grown since her continued work on her Aramente. By channeling the disease into Raishan, Keyleth once again helps save the day. With Raishan dead, a desperate call comes from Percy's soul-trapped gun. It's now or never to get him back. Going against the Matron of Raven's wishes and using his powers he sees fit, Vax attempts to bring back Percy from beyond with the help of Pike. It's a battle between Orthax and Vax in a battle for Percy's soul. It's only through the team's combined efforts and the words from Vex of her love for Percy that the curse is finally broken. Finally, some good news and a complete, albeit battered crew. Although, the effects of saving Percy will potentially have some much bigger consequences for Vax. Raishan is finally killed, concluding the Chroma Conclave arc once and for all. What a journey. Friends, old and new, reunite, and each member of Vox Machina feels a new sense of purpose. In the aftermath, the group bonds over their friendship. Scanlan finally seeks to fulfill his commitment to Kaylee, the daughter who had given him the family bond he's always wanted. He and Kaylee head off together, a new chapter for them both as father and daughter. Keyleth and Vax leave to continue helping her with her Aramente. Percy and Vex return to Whitestone to help the city's regrowth, while Grog and Pike stay behind to help protect the realm wherever they are needed. In a heartbreaking finale, the party splits up, each member left with more growing to do in their own journey to explore. Will this group ever be whole again? Only time will tell. Especially if those creepy cult members have anything to say about it. Whew, okay, did we get it all? Do you feel like we missed something? Anything big? And for anyone whose interest has been piqued, you can watch all of these episodes on Prime Video right now. We just covered the big points, maybe not everything, but there are some moments you just have to see for yourself. We are pretty sure you will not only love it, but you might just be as hooked as we are, right in time for Season 4. We love the stories these amazing warriors have taken us on so far, and we can't wait to see what happens next. And if you go back and watch the original streams on YouTube, tell them Prime Video sent you. And finally, for all things fan-focused, keep it locked right here on our YouTube. We'll see you next time.